Welcome to your guide on mastering camera controls with the Mappedin Web SDK. The camera is a powerful tool that controls and enhances how users view your map. Today, we'll focus on how to manipulate the camera by focusing on specific targets and incorporating smooth animations. Let's dive in. So, before we dive in, let's check out the camera interface and see what type of properties we are working with. Alright, so the methods we can call for controlling the camera is animate, focus on, and set. These are the functions we can use to manipulate camera events for our code. The rest of the properties that can be modified with their values are bearing, center, pitch, min and max zoom levels, and set screen offsets. Cool. Now switching over to our starting map. This is the map that we are working with. And as you can see, I've gone ahead and added some hover interactivity so we can identify which spaces we are clicking on. Now let's jump into our editor and let's start with our first function. So for our first function, we are looking to focus the camera to the space that the user has clicked. So let's go ahead and write it out with map view on click. And we're going to do an async handler with our event. Open that up, and we are going to do map view dot camera dot focus on, and we're going to use focus on for this method. Let's go ahead and go back to the docs really quick and onto focus on. And as you can see, focus on takes a target. And a target can be a space, a coordinate, a point of interest, door, etc. And it also takes an optional focus on options. But for our first function right here, we're only just going to enter a target. So focus on, and our target is going to be the first space in our event. So event spaces, and first one in the spaces array, we're going to give that a save. Head back to our map and let's go ahead and click a space. I'm going to click this one here, and there we go. We zoom right in there. I'm going to zoom out again, and let's do another one here. Boom, voila. You see what focus does? It has a set animation, focuses in, and yeah, that is our focus on method. Cool, so let's make this just a little nicer with some animation styles. So this time we will be using the animate method. So going over to our docs and animate. And in our animate method, you can see that it takes in a target. And in it, we can set the angles and a center coordinate, which is our angles are bearing, center, and zoom level, and center is our coordinate. And it also takes an optional object, which is T camera animation options here, which take a duration in milliseconds, and easing, which is a fancy way of saying how a movement starts and stops. So let's head back to our editor. And let me just comment out that line and write a new one. So we are going to do map view dot camera dot animate, and our first is our target. So in our target, let's set up a bearing of 30. For our center, we could use our coordinate from our event, so it's event.coordinate. Next we have pitch. Let's leave that at 80 degrees, and our zoom level, let's set that to 100. And for our next argument, it's going to be that optional T animations options, which takes in duration and easing. So for our duration, let's do 4,000 milliseconds, which is 4 seconds. And for easing, going quickly back into our docs, if we look into our easing options, you can see that we have linear, ease in, ease out, ease in and out. I'm going to select the last one, so just going to copy that go back over here and set that into our easing as a string and give that a save. And let's go ahead and check our map. Now we're going to click this polygon over here. And wow, would you look at that? That looks so much better when you have some animation styles on it. Let's do that one more time for the road. I want to choose this one over here. And voila! Be sure to check out the full guide if you want to dive deeper into camera events, which, as a recap, are a great way to provide a dynamic and immersive experience for your users. For more in-depth guides and resources, be sure to visit the Mappedin developer portal and our playground. Continue exploring, enhancing, and innovating your digital maps. Happy mapping!